Ghana de shimai maya mamu nyina adwo UTV asuni omamu nsem ne amahodo so de awosemu asoso eno ene na nwumre anu mienu yaje adwa ede besomo donhwe baako entemu na ye kai mo se kase boy this way chocolate drink de uhia ene ensuhia fe best point na best assurance wo na ebo ye chidom ama yasomo ene enwumre unya special no ne a na odi bia for me we specialized mineral water and special drinks e na so to bebre mpacho nya bia ebeboa opa de edi ye kase boy mu akotene bi ene se Malta mampanyini aba bepiemu oman Ghana wo behwe na ayonkofo eda aman mienu ntam no atumi agyina ne naso
Opania otu Frank Adiama NDC amanyuku na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kwa probo ewotifi atoye mantam no emo
Saso na yera John Dramani Mahama ne de ye ema nyina da amansan da kese no wo de mo piafo nsem amama ese yakonkodene entinyame ommo ye ho ban
yere mmeko mrahye bedwam ne Ghana mrahye dwafo agye atum se aban kwaje besi ano esombo $300 million na mfanye mpuntunyuma
Saso so na TUC ebo sujechie de gu aban se won pass affirmative action bill no on pass said ye beya betumi adi dwuma na aboa oman Ghana
yere mmeko adehye wo bibia ni anwea so bekwai mensinu emu wo kire se wan kwan sem enkoyie kura nti abamehwe na onye wa kwan emo
ensem afoforo nkaye bi ene wenum na yaboa no ayede esomo medinde ama saponkoma nkoma jesemini abema
David Ofori Safo
afe yenhwe ensem no ankasa Ghana ene Malta yonkofa eda yentem na yade a yemiamu yie papapa ayonkofa no wo hodada na nsoso ye kasa de Malta mampanyi abepiem wo mai Ghana wone omampanyi bedin sawoso ne ahwe kwampa ye betumi afrim pempenso ayi akofoforo
Opa eneda oman Ghana ene Malta entem na ena ye kase Malta mampanyi George William Vella aba ensrahye ewo manmu a wenu ayenenu ene odi esi honom eba betoto niema aboa na ayonkofa eda oman Ghana ene ne mantem no ombetimi ahyemu keneyi Empempin so ena Ghana mampanyi na adodanko akufo adonso akọ oman Malta mu akwaye na sede a ebetimi aboa sa ayonkofa eda oman Ghana ene Malta entem na sesi a President George William Vella abayidie wo ba behwe kwan a ombetimi edisika aso oman Ghana asene eba ne yebambo nsemu yenwumasua mu akwantuo mu yamanyosem mu ensrahye chese eniema bebre wie mu bobre nsakra ye kora ne kwan a yebetimi aboa emaburu mpuntuo eni kuayo nyina no eyade a waba ene mampanyi na adodanko akufo ado eba bekasa ahwe kwan a omo Malta man no ebetimi aboa yen ebosa afa ne nyina emu
What we're talking about here is not just food security, it is also industrialization, it is skills, jobs, and I must say climate mitigation, quite important. That's a phenomenal role of agriculture in this part of the world. If we put together our plans for these 6,000 hectares and the factory, we believe the investment will be between 30-40 million euros over the coming years. So this is doubling the investment we've already made in the country in the last 6 years. This is a very substantial investment. It is agriculture. This is not, a machine. So there are always, setbacks and challenges. But we are prepared to bet on agribusiness in Ghana. Ghana is the country with the highest consumption per capita of tomato. We are the leader in Africa. We are the leading tomato manufacturer. We have the experience. So I think the combination of our expertise, our leadership, our heritage, and then Ghana's extraordinary leadership in this particular crop make, we don't have yet the recipe, but these are the ingredients for extraordinary success.
I want to encourage you and to thank you for your involvement in our country. As you know, this government is a firm believer both in foreign investment in our country as well as in private sector activity. We are not socialists. We don't believe in central planning and any of that. We won't believe in private enterprise. We think that the way forward for the development of our company is to have several people like you, both Ghanaian as well as foreign, involved in our economy and helping to grow it fast and on a secure basis. So we want to welcome you very strongly and make it clear to you that we as a government will do whatever we can to support the development and expansion of the businesses such as yours. I think already you have seen a clear willingness on our part to associate with you, to provide such support as is relevant for the development of your business, and we will continue. I think that the ministers who are here are the people who are going to look at the demand you have made for quotas and for tariff protection for domestic production. There's nothing unusual or revolutionary about these concepts. They are things that have been done in other parts of the world successfully, and why not also here in Ghana? But it'll be looked at, and sooner than later, some response will come from the government outlining our response to the matter that you have put on the table.
Yetu akasi ebono eso ye ko pani ono ena etu franka ede ama NDC amanyuku no afi January elections a ebaso ewo man Ghana mo. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama menoka sei wayi nafuam yenu eso no ma woko adwuma anasa probo ewo atifi atoye mantam no emu na building Ghana tono ene na kupimu ewo hono.
As you know, this is a continuation of the Building Ghana tour. And from 2020, NDC decided that anytime it was election year and we're going to write our manifesto, rather than sit with some experts in a room and write it, we will go around the country, interact with the people of Ghana so that we know exactly what their challenges are. So that when we produce the manifesto and we come into office, we know exactly what our people want us to do for them. So we've gone around many regions in this country, and indeed we started in Bono, then to Bono East, then Ahafo, to Western North, Western Central, to Greater Accra. We've done Ashanti, we've done Eastern, we've done Volta region, we've done Upper East, and today we're in Upper West. And we decided to start the tour from Busie, DBI. We started by going to the palace of the Busiena to pay our respects to him. And when he spoke, he raised some of the issues that are of concern to you here in DBI, especially Busie. He talked about the road network. He also talked of the lack of a senior secondary school here in Busie. I remember in 2016, I promised that we'll build one of the community day secondary schools here in Busie. Unfortunately, we left office. So I just want to assure you that when NDC comes, we'll build a senior high school here in Busie. Busie now also raised the issue of water. And he says water is a major problem for the people in Busie, and so if we come, he wants us to develop a small town water system for Busie. We've taken note of it. We have our sister here who is recording everything that you have said, and we'll take it back so that our people who are doing the manifesto will incorporate all this into the manifesto. 7th December is election day. We all know what we've gone through these last 7.5 years. The opportunity has come for us to rescue our nation from the incompetence and inept, clueless administration of Nana Akufo-Addo and his driver's mate. And so on 7th December, the driver is going, and if the driver hasn't been able to drive all these 7 years, he hasn't driven properly, we are not going to hand over the car of Ghana to the driver's mate. If even the driver couldn't drive well, how much less the driver's mate? So I leave you with one final question. If you have a car and the driver didn't drive well, and so you are taking your car back, Will you give it to your former experienced driver, or you give it to the careless driver's mate? I will give it to my former experienced driver. I will not give it to the driver's mate.
Na kanima mpanyi John Dramani Mahama enede ye ema nyina da ekesie ya ye de mbo ema abaso ne ehwe se ma betimi akonkan no wono soso akabi e de ahye ema.
I want to thank all the teachers of Ghana. As you know, yesterday I named my running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang, who has been a long-time teacher. Many students have passed through her hands. And she has also been Minister of Education before. And so she is one of you. And so I'm sure that you have a representative and a friend in the highest office of the land, that is the presidency. And I'm sure she will take care of your interests and do the things that would improve the education sector and the teaching profession. I'm happy too that today is International Women's Day, and we've been able to present to the women of Ghana for the second time. We did it in 2020, we're not successful, but this time I know we're going to be successful. We are presenting to the women of Ghana, a female running mate, and I'm sure that come 7th January 2025, we shall swear in a female vice president for the first time in Ghana's history.
So na eko so afọ hwe akwan ene akwantempon ensem eso Honorable Francis Asenso Boache na pani kesi meno kasei wako adwuma nsra hwe ofanko nsawom kwantempon a aban gusu a oye no na ho na okasa no odi tudwa achese MPP aban be koso a aso Ghana contractors asense de be a adwuma kese ahodo anasa kwan ahodo e wo mem no contractors e wo mem wo mankasa ene beye amoman no
road construction yeah na bunibeka say challenges and impediments bebre we ko ba say encroachers bi kra na say you omufuru bubu omudane ade ebi wo ayaye ebi won so man ti ase court nso de konso a say the court same city ya na take time kakra en ti na ma no ache but o ma shem bo say enka by December there ninka ewie na me no mo ka say December there ka say twama na ye December asa no mo wie a o say road construction inconvenience be bre de bra manfo and a project we so no say ye wie a it will increase economic activities. Now every time be na say economic activity, because I'm not talking about 24-hour economy, but every time there will be activity. And you know, idea here a buying. And the mention say it's a sell mo pekwan bia so they are no power numero omunye adwuma. The ebuhu be here say as minister, e say me 200 amount let me boa amount mutimi wie project no maka che so mama sonte na enso so no ye beti ho anamon se be o mutimi wie project ni ntem na de ba ko e mi dewum ni say project ke CSA so over $300 million a local contractor na local contractor consultant mo na design ye mo na na eno ade a o man panyin na kufuado ene Dr. Baumia aban no ye pese ye empower local contractors and in general local businesses ma omo enyuma ye ne Ghana nyina no Ghana fo ene beye nti ye omo ye ne kama sei no ebe boa ma da chi bi no ye de adwuma ma local contractor ebe nya gidie o omumu se ombetimi aye.
International Women's Day afofi ene ya Ghana yeso ye hye sa efan bi ede akai ema no Vice Chairperson Edema Trade Union Congress Era Philomena A. Samson and so they are to Ghana by name Rashibedwafo anim say one share na affirmative action bill no on passes and say braso says abrin ka aba abonteni age atomu ama abeye emra.
On this special day, all in and out of the workplace and across the country, as we celebrate the 2024 International Women's Day, We once again call on governments to facilitate the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill, which is long overdue. We also call on the Parliamentary Select Committee on Employment, Social Welfare and State Enterprises and government to accelerate the process towards the ratification of ILO Convention 190 on violence and harassment in the world of work.
We, the unions, we have a big role to play. We have a huge role to play. And so, after our next Congress, just like the previous Congresses, one of the policies that we are going to adopt is gender equality policy. And I can assure you that through that, we will make sure that all the parties, all those who want to rule this country, must have something to do with how we can invest in women in this country so that we can accelerate our progress. You see, we are now in a very serious economic crisis. And if our government is smart enough, the way to get out of this crisis is to spend a lot on women.
Usha as a district assembly elections a year you see and by the no more ya if as a mba so do anko Usha prime minister mo ye nya dia nti e fi say affirmative action bill e ba e be bo ma ye hu say e dan ya sa number of women there or say you know from the sun e be bo e ma e ba so enya akonya no aboa na ahwe dwuma dia yedi
so da I was Kenya o mo kakra eno na ene no ya ye no na mo rempi say e ma bi wo ba bi o matumi aye atumi aye ama amaye president nko na enye head of TUC na enye head of finance ye kase de enu de kakra na wo se ye fa ano na ye nso ye fe nti betumi aye pa e ma kase mbe ya mo be ye
abisafo kase boy fi UTV so ye besemo aginkrato edi kan aba ye ba nsem nsie ye beto ato
wi a ma de hyema mu nyina akọ abaye to akase bono eso
ye to akase bono so ana ye hwe ne International Women's Day na ewo man Ghana mu no aso ye hwe ma ne nkwada yedi so wo ma hye hofa ewo man mu
Asoya ehwe emema ne nkwada yedi so ede mpasetu dwumadie bi ahyehye so mato ne din say invest in women, accelerate progress a champion wasi empempi no ema wo hono mu aya yebu o manimtia ye omo ayakayaka de awade mu adwuma mu mpo eno nti samre ya yede esi honom eboa ema ahye ompuntuo ene kwan ya ombetimi aboa oman ni mpuntuo no obesre sasa ne ema ni nyina yenyan to honom na yema ema dodo akonya esanse enipa bebre ewo omumu
ya so ya share say yan hwe enkora ne emba ne mobrofo eyedie enti ya aban ahye am ya hye policies bebre ene emra bebre ebi ni social protection policy ebi so ni national gender policy abekra ya the law bi beba e wa parliament say the affirmative action bill to see our parliament omo debate na bill si parliament mi pass ya ye free say ebeboa ama yetimi ahwe enkora ene emba ene mobrofo eyedie bitimi ahwe ma akonkan ye we de ni jesem ene International Women's Day ewiase nyina ye celebrate eti yanso wa ha as Ghana na o say yanso ye me nije ko se emba de ye ko de se ye de mbema ne ka ho de se hu se emba no ye de pi no ya se mbema no edi enchi anom ka ye ho anom ko no mu ehya ase me ye du mochi ama ye timi eye ede bo emba no ti na ye celebrate International Women's Day na Ministry of Gender ye jina emba nyina na mu edi kan ma ye nyina ye ho ayuko na first ya kase na ye no adepa ye no obi ye no ye ni ye na ye ni ye a oman mu enso asumdwe beba ama ye mobrofo aye kan ba ka ho ye kan kura ka ho ye kan disabled ka ho ye nyina ye ho beto ye nya a peaceful country to live in a free team no you and their mind or see invest in women ye can invest in women enye sebi osika semun ko bibia ebeboa ama enkora emba yeyedie ebesi pi no na ye hwehwe enti efa your economic empowerment ho efa your health ho efa your education ho efa your social life ho ni nyina ye say we should effectively invest in it for the betterment and the promotion of gender and women's concern.
afutuo kese akwa mama ese yenkonkodene yenya kokoduro na yenya adwumaden na boa amiyetumi agina bran
International Women's Day ye da bi onga yesi ho wo wiase afa na nyina wo de bomme aba so san de hye wo nkura wo adwuma soronko a wo ye wo wiase eyi na mo so ma UTV nsentwerofo afasa akwanya yi so ne mmea ne bi atwetwe nkomo
ma eme nyina afenhia pasenne eye World Women International Day ni ayebeka ne se ye mama nyina etiri nkwa ema asode bebre da yeso adwuma bebre ho a ema ye boa fie ye boa ye manom ye hwe adwuma nso a ye wom ni nyina ye ne asesa yetimi ye ne de boa ye role model ema ye mano enu nte ho se yetumi bobra papa ye adwuma ma ye ntena se asese yetumi ye adwuma yetumi enye sika de support ye mano na damme bi no se ye mano munya ba bi a na ma ye nso ekon atoye
ye beda yen female hard working workers ye mo munyina ayiko said your modi o ma ho odin ni omunyansa e de support omadwuma omoye wa hase keeping your home and then keeping your work very challenging but ni nyina no e ma no ejina a excel ti amobia ayiko
ne memayi minua mayi edwendwen ho se ye beba beboa enkwala omowo ward ha ye di si ye ni so last year ya me hu ye mobo aboa ye am yetimi aye de omo ka so omo hia nyina ya beye wa ha no Mesre Erade say, Oma hospital for no so ahoɔden. No muntimi fanhwɛ project yi so mayen.
International Women's Celebration Day. Oh, a boy and man pa, a boy and my yet say and my and so you bet me I bibi. And to say canina and ma ewo fiena and mema and kwa and a econo. A boy a kenya and man and so. A catcher and ma for say and then we are simunu I wono. Or so obey to me one home or day say obeko abba obey and son or jumebi or then who be right a jumebimo. Send a bear or non subet me a sippy. Sabema ni or crana or no bet me a jina ashafi.
Service nedia. They say me grandma me rem they say oba de oh what's a one juma. Anna fast service ye jumebia. We save lives. And to save lives on so no e wa de na da makoma so say ebia obi wa ho kyerem na obetimi aboa no eyi na afiri ho kyerem ni ebia obi dan bi hye akola bi atrapo na watimi akwa saving nipa no e kan nipa ye adwuma na ye humanitarian work intino many say me joining service no.
It's hard at training but easy on grounds. So with you woman now with me call training in Kwadia it's possible say you can pass through. And so pass it through, you will know everything.
Dear ma, you joining service no. First na you say bia, obi joining security service na juma na den me. But you come, even though the training wasn't easy. But with God on our side, no, we nailed it and we came out with flying colors too. So I urge each and everybody saying to a person joining service now, Memo Biambu Abem, don't be discouraged. Just tell yourself so you can do it. And the sky is our limit, and with determination till we can make it.
International Women's Day and washa ho fa we ase afa na nyina na oba Ghana has a choir from Women Entrepreneurs Rise Network one Ghana Enterprise Agency also a share fast from kokra now to first second lady Her Excellency Samira Baumia modern munyam ebete na second lady kasa no and the other shede to aban ankronkre ene eku ahodo a wo man mu se wo mfa ekite mu odin mama odwumadi ahodo a emadi e wo man mu.
Women Entrepreneurs Rise, a trinity say we rise, ene Ghana Enterprise Agency akabomwa, ene International Women's Day no omode dwumadi sonko ahyehyɛ so ehwe emodem a ema bebre na abo ebo man no empuntu emu na afensu so no omo ehwe kwan betimi afa so ahye omo nkran ama omatimi aye bebre ede aboa dwumadi asi Ghana Enterprise Agency omo Ghana Women Entrepreneurship Summit ene eye Women Enterprise Rise Network we rise no ne fan wo enkrimante mu hanum se no omo edan no edi na Ghana ba panyi a wotoso mienu Her Excellency Samira Baumia edana we special guest of honor nsema wadi tu dwano eni.
We are moving into an exciting time in history. Ghana is on the rise, as she said. And the race is on to create an inclusive world without gender biases and inequalities. So this requires an inclusive boardroom, an inclusive government, an inclusive media coverage, inclusive employers and employees, inclusive access to finance, and inclusivity in education, health, and all aspects of our lives. So on this special day, I call on all stakeholders, governments, private sector, civil society, and development partners, and let's not forget them because a lot of what you do is supported by development partners. They are critical in this conversation. I call on all of these to join hands in our collective efforts towards women's empowerment in Ghana. Together we can inspire inclusion to create a brighter, more prosperous future for all. Together we rise, together we inspire inclusion, and together we can shape the future. I thank you all for being part of this transformative journey. Let us rise hand in hand and create a world where every woman's strength is celebrated and every entrepreneurial dream finds its wings.
Enwechi na kwancherefo panyi Ghana Enterprise Agency wadano kwasi Yankee ayi enso so edito mani nyina enim se saa kwanya kese a Ghana Enterprise Agency for di abano omo entamo pa nemwa na omudwumedi nyina no entimi enkoso.
GE ejuma bebre wo ho se say your business in a box project. Business in a box project no ye boa mmabunu ene mma omo ye mmabunu so e wo krom ha nyinam. Focus ye 250,000. 70% ye mma na 10% ye omo aye from persons with disability. Ye pese ye de mwa nimdie wa mo nsutumi dia mo ejuma na hyase. Nti no ma bebre wo ho a Ghana Enterprises Agency. Yeah, it's International Women's Day yabe. Am I ni jepa cause their theme no and we juma. Yeah.
Nekrakra Muno and our program coordinator Emma We Rise Network Ghana. Eunice de we a Jane so edin sem say etwaso.
Roni wo baby or say trust the process. Just said nia wo ye no hwe so na ye. Na moment na wo little island so ana wo one corner bi na wo same bebre aba to say We Rise Network yaba bisem Ghana Enterprises Agency omo wa fana baby ya was 16 regions baby omo wa district bo me colleague your back country omo wa baby intibent na one corner na wo ye ne awo ye na wo break it out of that box na wo nko pay information ebe wow.
Kaniswafo ana wo hwe ye fi ahodo a ye ho nsem ekrakra ma me Cecilia Abna Dapa said ye nim no ne house help ye abawa oboa ne fie sikasem ne sika yira ye ma ekopie court ne Accra High Court ekwasetena ama ya hye ese patient botry eni enipa binom a eka ho yemfa won emfiri a police fo akache enko ne duafie ankasa yemfa mo enko prison na wochiremu a presiding judge otena asemi so Justice Marie Simpsons etena asenum en wochiremu say ebra so say yi wo mo free cells a wo mo ewone ye de wo mo ekoto ne duafie ankasa emo okwaje asotwen na enipa ya wono mo ekọ eneduafie akwakosom na sign remind ye de omu kono ye Sarah J wono de eyade a wawo ba na omanufo nti ono enka ho wono ma aka nyina de eyade a ye de wo mu ekwa akogu enua mu na sede omanfo be kai a November emu ena ye ma wono mo bill se wo mu emetua 750,000 Ghana cedis ya wodi niyama mienu nso edi akaginamu de ama office abre no a ye ma wono mbe didi besi na nyade a wono atumi atua sasika no enye wonfo ahodie asam no yasan atu ahyeda machi ebosumi ni de toso edunum sesi ye de wono ekọ remand na watwemienu kozi se ye besan afre asam no.
Yet wakasi bono so na ye call International Women's Day se ye call Western North Mantamunso a womso ehye ho efa Mrs. Hannah Quarantine Associate Executive Director Dema Wakam kasai se hwi bibiani na obaye man kasa no de etudwa akyere se ebredu se yenwanom ma so be sorry agina brane na wonwa etu galamsey ese yensase ese kwaye no so no ema betimi akoatia safo no.
Mrs. Hannah Quarantine and a year Associate Executive Director Mawakam na one adeshia ewo sehwi bibiani ewo atoye tivido mantimu ni titru ne emano ene Sokodevi afe Arocha Ghana ene FESEPCC4 edinenu eti honomu a omo kyerɛkyerɛ emano kwan a omo betimi aboa na galamsey adwumadi a ekoso wo maimu anya nsusuansobone wo yeso no ombetimi akoatia asemtra na eda so ewo potokasem ene say women's vulnerabilities to unregulated mining in Ghana, the role of stakeholders. Na ni nyina ene se omode nkyerɛkyerɛ mapa ebema ema ewosa amantam ho no misan se galamsey ne de yekoso wo hono mo pa na omuntimi nkeka omo ho ema omo ho mene so enkasem se de be ya galamsey no ebetimi agyae ewo yemeyi emu
I friend said together project na implementing wo Ghana ni teacher ni say yebeboa mma ne mmabunu ewo ekoko communities na ye adwuma wo na sene kai no afibia no ye International Women's Day na this year ne dey share ne say other organizations partner Bakuni FES any Arusha and Kamum na hwe kwan ye bedidi nkomo afa galamsey dwumadie no ene nsusuanso a woma emma ye share communities baby here jumana bebre na ya kone hu se galamsey jumade e kosupa na tituna ne ema na wo communities ne mu no e de how bebre e na de brɛ mu ema no pomodin galamsey activities no e ha ma pomodin enkola to me ko school till ye ka ade e be ka no go focus on child labor mining ankasa na titru dam surface mining galamsey so ye ni de ndru na wo use Oma say yen zama or yen hunam ibi a kidney. In a menu fun ones no chede or ye fair summer menu fun to mancansino. They are nay when I is in Kakra. Sabio or banadamana menu fun one would do wanka. Missy Afono so on pede Ubogunu kunini ma sensino. Na chede why there moko baby ne me twam ho kakra e bia na wo ntumu awo nti na ye do okowo na ti baba hye bambo fa na ko bobre no oso chen emre madie no ye ne yesensuo ye ne yakwaja ye ne yefa wintia na wisa no nya de frikwa yim eton embre no nya de siamre ya be mesafo na efa to no ono na o ma ya bosu edu. It is a quiet near no column, not a rebia or boy na. Oh, yeah, a messafo, a bread. It was a sea who sang me, and my kabuma, near to me a play, and my nipana as a shamrano, as a shamrapa, over one, Ghana, no woman.
UTV is soon in penny for Madaruma, yet on Crabatiawa.
Esanso mahwefo akwa baba UTV kasebui eso yento ansem so amamo
Yeboshi na yakopie mu ewo National Chairman Edema Nigeria All Progressive Congress APC amanyokuo ni mu ye Abdullahi Umar Gadunji wode nsem bi atudwa ya wo chese woni MPP aban no amanyokuo no wo mo wa yonkofa sonko na saa yonkofa yi osusu se de mfaso ebebre aman emienu.
Insightful meeting between my good self and the national chairman of the APC of Nigeria, Alhaji Dr. for extended a hand of cooperation between our two political parties. We have already done the backroom discussions, and this is just to let the media know that something really good is about to happen between for the media.
And thank you, members of the press in Ghana, members of my entourage, ladies and gentlemen, peace be upon you all. There's no doubt that today history has been made, and today history has been repeated, because the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria is a brotherhood history since the colonial times. So first of all, I have to thank the chairman of NPP, the ruling party in Ghana, who found it very, very important to pay a courtesy call in my national secretariat in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, and who also found it very important to request for a closer relationship between the ruling party in Ghana and the ruling party in Nigeria. So we found it so important to institutionalize the relationship between two ruling parties. You have similar history. So we have to thank them for laying a good foundation for
Yeko Oswafwa Oshe Edwedi Ensam Aso Honorable KT Hammond Asoye Manoka say wada abidwakubi edia to the Cement Manufacturing Development Committee edi na saa kwedwumadi on bedi ene se wono aye cement e wo man no wo behwe wudwumadi a wodi na eso.
Said the Ghana Standards Authority a manufacturer of cement and cement ahodo a yankasa no ye e wo ye man Ghana mu kwan yon betimi di omani edi akire ahwese esumbo yi a ene amamra no so eko na bra omode dwumadi esonko ete committee ni nyina no eko so e wo Ministry of Trade and Industries. And I'm so Emma Onmunyafo KT Hammond, ene chairman a committee say wadano Professor Alex Dodu edinsem say etso and central for any.
And for bebre yes cement wo Ghana ha say. Yes cement. Ni ane ye hunu so say cement no omo ye no ye hunu ye papa. Na say me wa na benfo omo hwe sangba no so omo bo ma ne say companies by me and Sabi, no by China for companies by me and Sabi. I dear Omoy and cement no to 2 frafrem Basabasa. Why any anacofa any video about Ghana mine. But yeah, person call for ye more Ghana ha Omoye. But a whole year so I was out the Ghana brand would ye. Na who say come on. Yes, I'll buy out is but I say Abrewano. Obobebere awu no obi di cement no de akosi factory no de akosia no de akosia no de akosia hunyan ye hu se ne omu you know me hwe ne omo no ma hu se mra no shada ndi ho papa ya ke se akikire omo ombese omo ye se adwuma no nti no na o se ye mra ne bi nti no ye ko parliament na mra na so ya ye mra ya edene ya se ediaba and say o pesa o ye cement ho adwuma so obeton so obeye o de baba factory na be bibia na ade na ho mra na da hore ne ade no Penfo na asese who say committee na ya set up no wo mu na eba ye mra no adi so ahwe say ekofo na wo mu di say adwuma no aye pampe wo mu ton wo mu ye wo mu say cement na ye no Ghana ha no cement papa o bibia ye no Ghana ha bia ya da nsie ye project e ka kwan ye hu ne ma no ni na cement hia papa wo Ghana ha say ya ke say wo say ye ni ba ho
na ye wo mra in the former GSA Act no na mra no gaps were baby cement factory yebesino nya were absent. Now under this new airline, under the Ghana Standards Authority Act, no, Sena Uber started cement factory crowd unya license. Uber community no, such a committee no say, yeah, here cement factory no, and na baby ye de besino a corrector, na ma license. Even then, license no minister no be say, ya follow entire procedure and son a minister no, then insa betwasi assign say yes, you can have a license.
Kane soafo a na wohwe mma ne mema ye die nsam so eye onimunyamfo nana oye bampo ado wono ene maame perpetual fori ya oye president Emma Ghana registered nurses and midwives association and afi Dr. Olivia Boateng wono makasa se yemfo man hwedwumadie bi a yediem na aboa ama oman no etumi egina ne naso
ade a yenim se political parties no ne se which are 50% filing fees. Now, political parties, no, ye person mo yes sing. They should go beyond payment of half 50% payment of filing fees. No, se ye benya ema ewo parliament there, and they do na si political parties no eso. Inti omunhwe nhyehyɛ no na omunhwe na omun promote omu seats na yenya ema ewo parliament also for district assembly elections so no so wo hwa ema no endorse na unit committee na ene de eye nigeda e de mame because NDC John Dramani Mahama appointed the running mate and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, former Minister of Education Ghana, into a Nijeda so edemaye.
Eba ema semua. So you catch in terms of taking up bigger leadership roles. Emaye table who yes we make an input. Oshe Ghana yakoye nim ye nyoma bebre bana women and girls education ya bebre various sectors in terms of women participation ekonenim oshe edwuma ye yonimu a nurses and midwives e man edoso entino e was oman Ghana say you invest in nurses with majority being women there were so many benefits. There were economic benefits. There were social benefits. There were other benefits. The whole of the Ghanaian economy to grow. And ejuma yedi and the ne etwe obi adwen so say ne emada enti emma ebom homoden omo komanim ye mo mayiko omo we kire so no omo hwe omo di omanim no na omo hwe omo hu nkran na omo mia omani enkoso omo so bedu ho de kikan nche say ye wo mra bebre a yetimi aye a ebo ema ho ban ebi ni domestic violence na wo hwe education so a ye wo level a yakwa say edurumi bi kra enrollment ye the same wo hwe a 50-50 school komuno said yesifa school mema no an said yesifa school ma inti ye de niema bebre gu akwan mu a eboa nanso there's small room for improvement as say ye yesin de ye enu nene Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association omo kan ye nyina bo mu a ye betena ase na ye che sa information on this year ye theme ye inspire inclusion.
Colonel Isaac Owusu Mensah, ono na Deputy Controller General for Finance and Administration at Ghana Immigration Service. Osin na ye International Women's Day no, wo catch them mahodo a ewo immigration adwuma no mu ese ebredu se man so be fa di bracket se ewo adwuma won eye emu.
Ene eye International Women's Day, Ghana Immigration Service ede dwumadie sonkon ahyehyɛ so a omode hye saa eda yi ho efa na asemtire a eda so ene se inspire inclusion, invest in women. Omosan so ede ato officers mani nyina enim se omumpe dibre ahodoɔ na omofom ho enyim se de be ya ebetimi aboa wo mu. Etitiru bi ekopie dwumadie na se bi ene Deputy Interior Minister, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, International Center for Migration Policy Development. Na Deputy Controller General for Finance and Administration, Ghana Immigration Service no wadano. Ora Isaac Owusu Mensa ebo emani nyina abaso mekyere officers na osan ekyere mu se ombetimi aye nnwuma ne bebre aka ho enunti omomfa no adehia
ema no yesre won se omommo ho mode na edwumadie bia ede bebo omo no omompopo omo ho omomfa omo ho hyem official team of the celebration inspire inclusion, that is to say a man yemfo omo kan bibia ho yenyi omo mfrim yenyi omo mfrim nti eba border management say ye hwe ye share so borders ni ande ade na a man wo dwumadie kese ewo mu eba intelligence eba surveillance eba dwumadie a immigration din nyina no emma wo role anaso omo twaka bi a wo mu di ede aboa ye mema it is encourage na me hye wo mo say na ye omo dei omo nya omo adwere omo si omo adwere pi say dwumadie bi a ye be ye wo immigration mu no omo be kan omo ho abomu na yama in Ghana Immigration Service afane ntoma pefra yaboa oman Ghana akonani
Awzafo na ha na brebe ho kwan amanwe kase boy de be somo wo UTV show yadini na esi ba me faseda ema Grosser Ventures adare shemi Grosser na pam yo Ghana manti ipacho watade bia ko Grosser Ventures no pam ema I na on fret Miss Gracefu Boadu was 0244 250 420 0244 250 420.
Saso and I think Africa and a pam me cover and me slit a day a share me pacho omo any eche komo lomnava if your papa be obesesi na why fast the PSA bio e dey call ama yenu ba adwa ye boaje ya wofa enterprise omo na maye ye set fe medukui mahwenniye niema e ka ho ma me sega nani edi mu wie people no ono ene de nyina e ma me madama o wa be ka junction UTV dan ya se he ya nti kwo ho a ho fa bi a wo pese wo ye ohene se bibi a wo pese wo ye Ghana ho ade de onsa be ka bi e wo ho enwumre enuanu mienu a ebe somo eyeme ama sapon kuma jesi menimini abema
David ofori safo yesosi yeremo ko NLA ene e fi identify Friday bonanza ema ebonyina yede to asam yakra mu